Ah, yes, ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, muchas gracias. Thank you so very much for being here with us today. This is Indio on the radio, QO Radio, listening to all the great music and also doing all the shows, interviews, and everything.
I can't hear you. I can hear you now. Praise the Lord. Yes. I am doing great. Thank you so much, and DJ NDO, for having me on. I'm loving this opportunity and loving having being able to have this conversation with you. So thank you very much. I'm doing great. Yes. Las Vegas, New Mexico. I like to tell everybody that we are the real Las Vegas. It had been, we were settled about 28 years before the other Las Vegas, where what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas, but we're the real and original. Well, it 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 was settled. Las Vegas, Nevada, was settled probably about the 1830s or 1840s, because Las Vegas, New Mexico, was settled in about 1820 or so. So, so yeah, that's right. That's right. I know. But yes, Las Vegas, New Mexico, and it's not at all anywhere in comparison to Las Vegas, Nevada. It's much smaller, much slower paced, a lot less people. In fact, it's a small town, and everyone says, "Well, you can get from here to there in 5 minutes." I'm like, "Oh no, 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 no," because here in Las Vegas, New Mexico, the highest speed limit on any one of our streets is 45, and people drive 10 miles under the speed limit. So no matter where you go, you're going to need 10 to 15 minutes. I can't hear you. Oh, there we go. Yeah. 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 Exactly. No, no. It's, if you're in a hurry, you're just going to have a real test of patience, because you, like you said, 45 miles an hour. I mean, you're never going to get where you need to go on time. You got to have plans to leave plenty early. I can hear you. Yeah, right now we're good. I can hear you just right now. And and you can hear me? Are we good? Hi, Bobby. Yeah. Oh yeah, he said sorry, but I can't hear you. Uh-huh. Oh wow. I was so impressed when I went to perform for the Tejano Fanfare, because there were so many accordion players, and and I don't remember who I talked to. He said, "Oh, accordion players here are like grow on trees," but I know it's such a wonderful skill to have, and very much respected musicians. I'm a huge fan of accordion players, of anybody, but I think they really are add a whole lot to the music. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, I always say that talent only takes you so far, because if you don't perfect your talent and you don't work on it and you don't practice, it's not going to flourish You know, you need to grow it. You need to cultivate it for sure. Yes. Well, I think so. Yeah, definitely. Because I was 5 years old, and my dad had my dad had us singing since we were, and I say us because I'm the oldest of five, and so we were singing since we were kids. We were learning songs, and we were performing from a very young age, locally, of course, at church, at parties, at school. My dad was a Spanish teacher, and so he would sing with the students on Fridays. And so, yeah, we definitely, he was definitely an inspiration in that regard. So I continued to just practice and practice and learn a whole lot of things. So he definitely was an inspiration in terms of music. And of course, I've been able to meet a lot of people who have inspired me. And like the song you played when we began, Shelley Lattice, is the one with whom I did the duet for Amiga. And that's on my CD. And that's such a huge honor for me because I know that she is a Tejano icon and is retiring at the end of the year. And so, just an amazing performer. And we wish her the best of luck in her new in the new chapter of her life as she moves forward. But and of course, I listen to people like Maricela. A lot of people know who that is. Selena, of course, a Tejano fixture. And I just definitely was inspired by a whole lot of people, country artists. The list goes on and on.
Uh-huh. And so for you, as far as now that you've released what, two albums so far?
Well, I actually have four, and I'm pretty well known in the New Mexico scene, and
I'm sorry, I apologize for interrupting you, but I
no
went
worries.
looking for your music. I only found two albums.
Is that
So,
right?
yeah, so that is my bad. And please accept my apologies for that.
No, no
I feel
worries on
terrible
that.
about
No, actually, don't feel bad because the thing is that I do only have two full albums
Oh,
on like on YouTube and Amazon and so on. The other two, one of them is a religious CD that I have a video for it, but I never released it per se because it was more like a compilation of other songs with one new song. And then another one that I have is an English country type CD that I did not actually release publicly in that manner. I mean, I just had it here locally. So you're not wrong.
well, just so that way you know, okay.
Thank you.
Prince actually had he had Kevin oh, I can't think of his name now. The director. Um, he had him make something like 15 music videos for songs that he never released.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, and he was talking about, in his interview, he was talking about how there are 15 full-fledged, $100,000 music videos that he did for Prince that
Wow.
he just wanted it for himself. And some projects, I guess you have to do that, I guess, just to, for you. And
Yeah.
that's okay. That's real good. And now that my microphone is back and people are actually starting to respond to me, I want to
Yay.
first say I apologize for that little glitch that was in there. I know the radio station was listening to me because I can see my VU meters working on that one, on that side. But Facebook is really my second concern. My main concern is radio station. And so, real quickly, let me go ahead and send a shout out to my main man himself, Esteban Cerda from Angelique and Sweet City Band. Thank you so very much. Donald James Medina, Big D from Waco, Texas. Thank you very much for joining us here, and also for Bobby Castañeda. Um, He also says, "I'll have to read your lips," because he didn't know.
Well,
And
even I was having that issue with you.
yeah,
It's like,
right, yes.
ooh,
And he
we
said,
got to work
"Saludis
on this.
from California." That's where he's from.
Ooh,
California. Thank you
hola
very much, Bobby.
California.
And thank you for everybody else that's listening in all around and that paying attention and wanting to find out some more of the New Mexico princess of Tejano music, Brenda Ortega.
Well, I
And so,
appreciate that. Thank you.
well, I love your music. You have a unique style in the sense that it's very Tejano,
Yeah.
but you don't put yourself in just strictly Tejano. That's why I wanted to start off with your cumbia amiga because it shows another facet of who you are and
Hmm.
your song. You have some boleros and you have some ranchera music, and it's all of it's wonderful. And
Thank you. Thank you.
just a little background for those people that are listening to us. Um, we met at Sevi's Slack Monster Studio. That's where I met
Hmm.
you, and
That's right.
it was a good recommendation coming from Sevi when he's like, "Hey, Lawrence, I would like for you to take a listen to Brenda and you were so gracious enough as to let me have one of your CDs so that way I can listen to it, which is really really awesome. And it's good music is good music. That's all there is, and that's one of the things that I preach all the time is that good music is good music, and what we suffer a lot from independents such as yourself is that you don't get the opportunity to be heard, and
Hmm.
that's what has to happen. It has to, there has to be an avenue. That's where I come in. I want to be an avenue, a throughway for people to be heard, for the sound to be heard, the music. Give the audience an opportunity for them to fall in love with the music instead of me dictating what is good music and bad music, which is incorrect, totally incorrect. That's why I
Well,
have my Texas Latino cap on
I
to
know, I
represent.
noticed that. And I was just, kudos to Sevi and his Texas Latino band. But you're absolutely correct. We met, and I just really appreciate, first of all, just the person that you are, your demeanor. You're open, you're approachable, you're humble, which is in my book like a big deal, because not once were you like, oh, and I'm this, and I mean it was very matter of fact. I do this, and then we, like, again, the recommendation from Sevi, and you just moved on it, and so I am so fortunate. I count my blessings, and thank you so much. And to all the people listening, I just again, I'm not a spring chicken. I told you I'm an old gal. I tell people I'm firmly middle aged, but there's a lot of good things that come with being middle aged too. And so I'm just having a really good time, and I hope people like the music. And I come at it from a different perspective than younger artists. I've had a career. I've raised my children. I'm a grandmother, for heaven's sake. And it's just amazing the opportunities that we still have at this age or any age. I mean, I'm just really, again,
Well,
fortunate. And thank you so much for the role you play in helping people like myself.
I mean, thank you for that. I mean, what manner of a man would I be if I did not try to make this a better place? But
And all of us should do that in our own way. So thank you.
it's difficult for some, not for the others, and I just happen to be in a good spot. But I will tell you this: I agree with most of what you said, except for the whole spring chicken and everything else. Let's 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 be clear. You are a very beautiful, attractive woman, young woman. I'm older than you are, so let's not put yourself older than that. However, I do want to make a point that in this day and age, you are able to take advantage of the facilities that are available now that were not available when you thought of becoming a Tejano artist.
Yes.
Back in when we first started out, we have to remember that women were not given the opportunity to be headliners or to do their own music or be the singer for that matter. They were always the backups. And then, a lot of times they were objectified, for being female. All of
Yes.
those things, thank God, they have changed. But however, now you have the facility and the faculty to do it yourself,
Right.
which
Right.
is a blessing in on itself. And if it's your dream, why not? It's your dream, and no one has the right to take that away from you. No one. And if you are just now and you feel that you're running out of time, don't. You're doing it. You are here. There's 100,000 pairs of ears listening to you as we speak for a reason. That is that it just happens the way it happens. But I encourage you to keep doing it. Your voice is great. Your music is great, and I truly love it.
Well,
I do, and that's one of the things that if I didn't, I would have called you back and said, "Can we reschedule?"
I know. Well, just those words alone mean so much to me because I'm always humbled by comments like that because you guys know music and you hear so many people and there's so many talented people and and it's just amazing that those of us who are able to even get like an interview like I have tonight with you is just such an opportunity that is, I mean, who knows what can come of it? Maybe, I always say, whatever happens, if I'm able to flourish and become better known and have greater gigs and so on, that is going to be God's blessings because fortunately, like I said, I've had a career. My children are grown. I have grandkids. I have everything I need, and it's just all for sharing the gift that God gave me. And one more thing, in that it takes people like yourself. It takes people like Sevi. It takes band members. It takes fans. It takes friends. It takes family. It takes a whole group of people to help each other to succeed. Our spouses, our partners, our people who live with us every day are like my boyfriend's now in the bedroom watching TV because he knows I'm here talking. So even that sort of little support goes a long way in pushing us forward.
Oh, most definitely. It's the significant other, and I've always said that success is nothing without somebody to share it with.
Oh,
You don't.
amen.
You're never successful by yourself, regardless of how many people sit there and stand on a hill and say, "I'm the one that did this by my." No, you didn't. If you did
Exactly.
not have the right people, you wouldn't have done anything at all. No one creates their own success. It's based off of other people, and
Exactly.
those are facts.
Yeah,
And to
I
be
agree.
honest,
I completely agree.
I'm not a. I mean, I'm just a person trying to make a difference in the world. I'm just trying to help. And what better? I envy you because of the fact that you make music, and making music, you are able to affect people's lives. Music is eternal. There's going to be a song that you sing that somebody's going to hear, and it's going to equate to their boyfriend, their husband, their father, their mother, sister, brother, or best friend. It's
Yeah.
going to remind them right now, and it'll remind them 20 years from now every time they hear that song. That is a power that you wield as an artist, and that the fact that you respect that power, you respect that is what you create, and you do it out of love. Because I firmly believe any and every artist that puts out music, there's a piece of their soul, a piece of their heart in each and every creation that they put out there. And so to you,
I agree. That's absolutely true, and I'd like to say that whenever there are times when throughout my life when I've been like, oh, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm tired or whatever. I'm having a little bit of a, whether it's a pity party or just frustration, whatever it might be. And I am not kidding you. I will always run into someone who will tell me, "Oh my God, you just touched my soul," or you just you sang that so beautifully. You touched whatever it is, and I'm like, "Okay, God, thank you. I'm listening. We're meant here for a reason. Like you said, you're just trying to make the world a better place in your own way, and And I have a Facebook live show on Thursday. I used to do it every Thursday during COVID, but now my partner, my music partner, and I do it on once a month on Thursdays, and I always say, every one of you make this world a better place, one kind act at a time. I mean, you never know, a smile or whatever it is, a kind gesture, even a kind thought that you put out in the world is going to make the world a better place.
Yeah, I have a similar sentiment. Real quick, let me say a big shout out to Rick Valderrama, the main man himself, Valderrama.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Rick. How are you?
Awesome Rick. Yeah, he's oh my gosh. He's got a cumbia that is killer. It is to die. It's one of my favorite
Yeah.
cumbias right now. It's on my top list, and I really do appreciate. He sent it to me, and I messaged him right away. Rick, what the hell? This is amazing. You know, and he's just a great person, great personality, great person all the way around. Yeah, I do have that same sentiment. I used to have a really good friend of mine, and she was going through some some personal struggles and everything else, and then people questioned my affiliation with her because they didn't approve of her lifestyle, which whatever the hell that means. We all live. That's all that matters. And for me,
Yes.
I was like, if she's down in the dumps and she's ready to call it quits, and I come in and I say hello and it brightens her day, what did it cost me?
Right.
How difficult was for me to be nice, to say hello, or even give a compliment? It is not that expensive. It's not that hard. It does not hurt. It
Yeah.
is simple. And yet we can lift the world with our smile. Think about that. We
Oh,
have that power.
amen. Amen. Well, I one of the nicest compliments I ever received was from a classmate of mine. Her name is Marjorie, and I hadn't seen her in years. And we happened to see each other at the grocery store, adults, 20, 30 years after high school, whatever it was. And I said, "Hi, how are you doing, Marjorie?" And I said, "Do you remember me?" And she said, "Oh, I'll remember those kind eyes anywhere." And that, I mean, like her saying that, it it just touched me, and I wanted to cry right away because that's such an ultimate compliment when someone says something like that to you, and and I just I really appreciated that.
And that's great. That's so much, to feel that, so much gratification because especially from school. Think about it. It's school.
Yeah, I
It's a
know.
very cool place to be. Real quick, we want to talk about your music, and I want to talk about the song "Mi Amor," and I know it has a special place in your heart, obviously, because
Yes,
the writer of this
yes.
song. And so, give us a little bit of background on "Mi Amor."
Okay, so my dad, his name is Juan Ortega. He has written so many beautiful songs, and actually, my first CD was basically an ode to my dad. He wrote it's called Amor Lindo, Canciones de mi Padre Querido. And I didn't have one with me, otherwise I would have given you one. But anyway, that particular, so with that CD, that was kind of like my debut 7 or 8 years ago as a full-fledged artist, which I started doing that after I retired. So back to the particular song, I won the Female Vocalist of the Year in 2017 in New Mexico for the New Mexico Hispano Music Association. So after I won, I told my dad, I asked him, I said, can you write 10 songs to that CD? And he wrote "Mi Amor." And so my dad's just, well, songwriters, I mean, they're so talented, and some people can just write such beautiful things from a thought, something they see, whatever it was. So he did write "Mi Amor," and it's a very, very beautiful song, and so that's why it's near and dear to my heart. And then the second reason is because when I was working with Sevi and I introduced these songs to him, Sevi heard it, and it was raw. My dad sent it to me, singing it with just the guitar, like real simple. And so he's like, that one. And he just like started rolling it out on the keyboards, and he's like, I hear it. And so we set up the music and did everything else. And when I heard just the music tracks, I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. I thought, wow, what a transformation. This song is going to be just beautiful. And so I released it, at least here in New Mexico, and it hit number one like within a few weeks. And it stayed there for probably about 2 or 3 weeks, and it stayed in the charts for several months. And so this song is just beautiful. It's a song that reminds me of like my I had a my fourth grandson was born in January, and so that song reminded me of him. Of course, my your tocayo, my boyfriend Lorenzo. We always say the song is for each other as well. So it's very meaningful.
Well, like I said, you wield that power as an artist to be able to
Yeah,
affect people's hearts and everything else.
yeah.
Bobby from California says, Brenda, I love the fact that you are so humble. God bless you.
Ah, thank you, Bobby. I really appreciate that.
Very
And
much
yeah.
so. And so, with that being said, it's a wonderful song written by Mr. Ortega, Brenda's dad. And it's a beautiful song, and I want y'all to go ahead and take a listen to it. This is Mi Amor with Brenda Ortega, Indio on the radio. It goes like this.
Mi amor es solo para ti, es verdad y tú lo sabes. El candado de mi corazón, solo tú tienes la llave. Nada puede comparar con la dicha de tu presencia, nada puede comparar con el dolor de tu ausencia. Mi amor, eres tú quien me llena de alegría, eres tú, mi amor, quien ocupa mi memoria cada día. Nada puede comparar con la dicha de tu presencia. Nada puede comparar con el dolor de tu ausencia. Mi amor, eres tú quien me llena de alegría, eres tú, mi amor, quien ocupa mi memoria cada día, cada día. Eres tú.
Awesome. Awesomeness, awesomeness, awesomeness once again. Brenda Ortega. How are you doing, girlfriend?
I'm
Did,
good. I'm good. And
do,
how are
do,
you?
well, I'm good. I'm asking because that was a very personal song. There's the lyrics in itself talks a lot, and it's hitting you in if you really understand the context of it, it has much more meaning. It's much more sentimental.
Exactly, exactly. And that's one of the things about my dad when he writes music, like it's just so very powerful. But yeah, this song, like I said, I was recording it probably around the same time that my grandson was born, and he was born about a month early. And so, oh, it was just such a sweet thing. And of course, between lovers and partners, it's just meaningful as well, which is why I told you that Lorenzo and I sing that, or I sing it to him actually. He sings it to me too.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it has a different sentiment when they Te
Yes.
quiero mucho. Just kidding.
Yeah, I
Uh,
know.
Julia Gasca, thank you so very much for joining back, Julia. And she says, hello, everyone. Julia, by the
Hello.
way, let me say I apologize for the last time you came on. I couldn't get your name right. You had to correct me, which is awesome. Now I know it's Gasca, so that's why I say Gasca. She came on and I was like, I think this is right. So, but no, it's really really good. So, what did your dad say about the song?
Oh, it's always fun for me to communicate with my dad. I'm fortunate to still have him. He just turned 80 in October, but whenever he hears the transformation of one of the songs that he's written, and he is it's so fulfilling to me to see his emotion, his emotional reaction. And like we talked that night when you and I met and we were with Sevi, and Sevi's like, I just wanted to know, what did your dad think about it,
Right,
And
right.
oh, my dad was just ecstatic. He just is so happy that he gets to hear his music. I mean, he actually recorded music on his own as well,
Mm.
but to hear it again that I'm doing it, and he's just loving it. So very proud, very touched by the whole thing.
Well, and you as well, you should be proud because you made your dad proud.
Yeah.
Not just him be proud of you, but also you be proud of yourself for. Because I mean, really, ultimately, that's one of the things that we get to when we have a good relationship with our parent is to have mutual admiration, and that's one of the things. As a matter of fact, I often say that I live my life in hopes and dreams that my children will be as proud of me as I am of them, and that's
Oh
really.
my! You and I tell you, we're kindred spirits because we have a lot of the same sentiments. Because I feel the same way. I just, recent, well, probably around March, I think, maybe April, my grandson, who's now in the sixth grade, or he was in the fifth grade. I don't know. Anyway, he's fifth, sixth grader at the
Junior
time,
high.
and right, and he called me. He says, "Granny," they call me Granny. He says, "Granny, I need to write a story. I need to write an essay about my hero, and I want to write about you." And I'm like, "Oh, baby, oh, So it's just one of those things that, like you said, when your family is so proud of you, and whether they're younger or older or whatever, and your parents, your partners, your children, whoever, primos, tias. It's just an amazing feeling, and you've done something right.
And that's really the I mean, that's really the good thing. That's the goal that we want to achieve is to have people, in our lives. We are a herd animal. We want to be around others. That's why
Yes.
cities get so big the way they do. It's very few of us that want to be alone. And regardless of whether you want to be alone, no man is an island. You know, uh, we all uh, uh,
Agreed.
we all need people around us.
Yeah.
To just to feel warmth and uh, uh, that's really one of the great things that I really admire about you is the fact that you have done the songs that when I first saw your album about your dad. I instantly thought it was that querido viejo, and you were like, no, 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 no. But I could tell right away that's more of the older type of music and everything else. What was the driving force for your songs? Because that's a different side of you. This is not the side that I found that doing my research, but for you. uh, my vision of you was totally changed once I found that album.
Uh-huh.
So, and it's not a bad thing; it's a good thing because now I see you have a broader range, which is always good as an artist. You want to have a big range. But
Yes, yes.
what's the thing that you use to definitively say this is the type of song that I'm going to do, or I like this song and I don't like that song? What's the deciding factor for you? What are you looking for, or do
Well,
you know?
that's a wonderful question, and I think really it's just, well, you know music, so I think you definitely, and people can relate who do this stuff. It's just whatever whatever speaks to you, and it could be, I'm like you said, I am pretty versatile, and I like a whole bunch of different songs and country music, soft rock. I even like some rap, and even like 70s rock, any sort of music, classic. And it's just what you can feel it. You feel it in yourself. You feel it in your body. You feel it in your spirit, your mind. It hits you a certain way. But so that's kind of how I know. And sometimes, though, I've got to say too, sometimes songs grow on you. So, like for example, I recorded a song. It's an old Antonio Aguilar song, "Triste Recuerdo," and it was more the banda style. And when I first heard it, I was like, "Oh my God, it sounds horrible!" And but son of a gun, I love it, and it just has like that really
Yeah,
cool banda flavor to it, and I think is pretty cool now. So, sometimes it, like I said, mostly it just kind of speaks to my heart, and sometimes it'll grow on me, or sometimes I want to
yeah, and
tweak
I
it up
think
just a little bit.
yeah, I think that's one of the driving factors with what I do because of the fact that I want to give audience the opportunity to hear music because a lot of times music is dictated to us as opposed to letting us. There's nothing greater than finding a good song.
I
There's
know.
nothing greater than finding something that really, really moves you or has the sentiment that you're feeling at that time, you know. And with that, there's a lot of music out there that is being produced, that is being made, that doesn't get the opportunity to be heard, and that's why I that's the main thing that I use my radio station for, is to focus on not just the regular. I'd still play those songs. I still play the classics. I still play the hits. I play all of that. But I want to give audience to those people that don't have access to that. That's I think that's why I've been relatively successful by many standards, is because of the fact that I don't cater to one thing or another. I try to give everybody equal opportunity to be heard. The only thing that I go away from is hate. I don't advocate hate, and I don't preach hate, and so I just abstain from anything that has that sentiment, or people that have that sentiment, because I know some artists that are here, like, no, don't, I don't want to associate myself with that. I'd rather have a good sentiment, a good feeling, and so that's
Yeah.
kind of the thing. And I love the fact that your dad was part of your is so active in your career, being supportive, even though you've already finished one career and you're moving on to a new career, and he's still there. That is an amazing, awesome thing. You know, my dad never got to see this radio station. Now, he was a supporter of mine and a lot of things that I did, but this station, he never saw. He got to see me as a program director of this of a radio station, but he never saw me with my own, and that's kind of you know
Well, I'm sure. How long ago did you lose your dad?
I didn't lose him. He's just around the corner. He just doesn't want to talk. No, just kidding. No, no, I did lose my father. I lost him like 5 years ago. So it's been a few years.
I would have believed you.
No, no, it's I was just trying to break the levity of it all, because it's
Well,
a really
no,
heavy.
but I mean,
It
the
is a heavy
yeah,
topic.
but the thing is, I guess what I was going to say is that I'm sure, it's that he's watching you from above, and still is with you. You carry him in your heart. So thank you for doing that.
Well, it got really heavy, and I'm always joking around and stuff. You know what? People actually they were like, he's losing it, because I was making a joke. I was making jokes at his wake, and I was
Oh,
joking around at his wake, but that's what he told me to do. He's like, he
yeah,
did not want it to be a sad occasion. He wanted people to celebrate because he's no longer in pain. He's no longer suffering. He
yeah.
passed away, by the way, from complications of colon cancer. And
Oh,
so,
okay.
uh, uh, his last year of his life, I think he had like in the last year of his life, he had well over 30 surgeries.
Oh
You
my
know,
God.
that's a
Wow.
lot. That's a lot for a human
Yeah,
to take, for the human body to suffer through. So anyway, he
yeah,
was he was ready for me to celebrate, to joke around. Thank you, Julia. I really do appreciate the deepest condolences. But yeah, no, he he was he was that's what he wanted. He wanted me to
yeah,
be happy,
yeah.
and he wanted us to celebrate. And he even told my children he wanted them to have a party
Uh
in
huh.
his and so they did. They had a party.
Yeah,
Because, I mean, it's a sad occasion. Really, when you think about it, it's more selfish that with the things we do when people pass away. They are suffering and they're no longer suffering, and we should be happy for them. But we miss them.
yeah,
It is us. The monuments and the grave sites and the services, all of that is for us. It's not for them.
yeah. Right. And it's bittersweet because, like you said, especially when they're suffering. I have my youngest brother was born sick and he died in 2009. He was only 30, but it's bittersweet, like you said. They're suffering, and I just and we miss them every day. The people that you love and have had such a great impact. That remembering them is the honor, and knowing how much that they were just important to your heart, to your soul. But anyway, yeah, like you said, having fun. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's a great family and friendship reunion when someone passes, and you can remember all those wonderful things that how they impacted you. And so it's like I said, bittersweet, but still
Yeah.
all good.
In Native American culture, we say you live forever on the lips of those you affected.
Oh wow, I like that. Yeah, yeah,
So it is how you treat people that will determine how you are remembered and how you want to be remembered.
I know.
It's
Yeah. Well, I'm just to continue on this topic just a little
very
bit.
dreary.
I know, but it's a part of life. So, but I sing a lot at church, and so people call me to sing for a lot of services, funeral services, and so on. So I have heard and been a part of very, very many funerals, and people tell me like, "How can you do that?" But it's actually for me an honor to help families remember their loved ones. And I hear so many eulogies, and you can tell when the family's in disarray or whatever, But I think that just like you said, the what was it you said? You
We live
remember them on your
forever.
lips.
Yeah, we live forever on the lips of those
They
we
live
affect.
forever on the lips. Yeah, you don't forget them. You keep them in your heart, and yeah, they live forever because their impact was that
Because yes, because
profound.
you keep telling their story, and that
Yeah,
somebody else learns it and is able to share it, and it's wonderful. Julia shares with us that when his dad passed away, he said, "Pour beer on his grave," and so they did. And that's
wow.
thank you for sharing that, Julia. That's very personal, and I do appreciate that. But it's true, their wishes, if they are met, if we meet them and we can celebrate ourselves, celebrate our life, celebrate living. It's wonderful to remember people, but we cannot live in the past. The past is the past, and there's nothing we can do to change it. We can only affect the present. We can hope for the future, but there's nothing certain. We live in
That's right.
today. That is
That's
why.
what.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Well,
I
I
was
was
just gonna say, you
kindred,
first.
kindred spirits, right? Kindred spirits. We both said the exact same thing. Please allow me. Go ahead, ma'am.
Ah,
You are a female. You have the road.
wow. Thank you so much, and Dio. I was just going to say that Lorenzo and I talk about that too. We need to, you recognize the past for what it's worth, and it brought you to where you are today. But definitely moving forward and building your life now, enjoying this moment, and looking toward the future and the much better and greater and beautiful moments you can have, and just cherishing the life that you have. So yes, exactly. Now to you, not to you, Ndio.
No, I was just gonna say it's walking in the sun. That's
Yes.
that's that's what we do as natives. We walk toward the sun because our past is behind us and it's in the dark,
Yeah.
and we can never see past ourselves because the sun is so bright. We
Yeah.
live in today. We live right now where we are at
Yeah.
because it's the best way to live.
I know. Well, I think that I completely agree because I see a lot of people who do live in the past and they're so stuck. They can't. They're missing out on so many beautiful things and beautiful opportunities, and when they do that, and it's just wow. I just I like I said, and you reiterated it. Kindred spirits. We have very similar sentiments.
And Julia, thank you, Julia. You too, because
Yeah.
she's sending up some hearts, and I really appreciate that.
Ah,
No, so that wasn't the only song that he's written for you, though.
no. My dad's written several songs. Like I said, the very first CD was all songs that he's written. This particular CD that I gave you has four songs that he wrote. So yeah, my dad's just in fact, that's what he cherishes about himself, his songwriting talent.
Well, not everybody has that talent. Let's talk about ya no sé bailar.
Right.
Um,
Yo no sé bailar.
yo no sé bailar. Well, see,
Uh
there you
huh.
go. Go ahead and make fun of my Spanish. Go ahead. That's
Hey, at least you're speaking it. I mean, that's half the battle.
right. I'm still a speaker, really good. I'll be honest with you. Here's the deal. I learned Spanish in college, okay,
Uh huh.
and I learned it from a book, and I learned how to speak it according to the standard that is Spanish, with a Castilian, emphasis. But here in Texas, they don't speak Spanish. Here in Texas, a majority of what they speak is colloquialisms, and so you have to first understand the colloquialism and how its effect on languages. And I'll give you a perfect example: the word pedo. I was like, that's not a word. Sure, it is. It means
Yeah.
fart. And I was like, pedo means fart. Yeah. But then if you pay attention, that word does not mean fart. It does not. If somebody's fixing to fight, ay, vaya pedo, Or,
Exactly. ¿A qué pedo? Yeah.
yeah. And then if you have a question, ¿qué pedo es eso? If
Yeah. Uh huh.
if, if you get surprised, ah, me sacaste el pedo, and then if you don't believe it, puro pedo. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Uh-huh.
the same word, okay?
Right. Right.
So then you go, well,
Yeah.
how come you don't speak Texas? I mean, Spanish. I do. I speak Texan. That's a
Right.
big difference, you know.
All in context. All in the all. It's all in context, and
Uh,
yeah, I love that.
it
It's
is just like,
I got to tell you a quick story. Well, I was a teacher, and so my very last year teaching, I had spent my 25th year as a teacher. I moved to a different school and I started teaching in Santa Fe and I had to teach Spanish. Well, I thought those kids were kind of like our kids, which they have the auditory comprehension, but they can't speak it. And so I thought that was the same in Santa Fe. So I'm introducing myself. Yo soy su maestra, blah, blah, blah. I'm speaking, and I told them to stand up and introduce themselves, and they're blah, 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 blah. And they're speaking Spanish, and my jaw just keeps falling to the floor, and I'm like, oh, what am I going to teach these kids? They know how to speak Spanish, and so anyway, I told them I know the academic language. You guys know how to speak well. We're going to have to help each other, and it turned out beautifully because a lot of them were second generation immigrants from Mexico, and they would say, "Maestra, ya estás hablando mejor, ya mero te haces mexicana," and I'd be like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, estoy haciendo las fuerzas de hablar mejor con ustedes," So anyway, I get what you're saying. Basically, is the purpose
yeah.
of my story.
Hello, Norma. Thank you for joining us. We're talking about my deficiencies in Spanish. Well, what's my deficiency really? I don't see it that way. I see it as the
It's
fact that
not.
it's a It's the way people speak it and the varieties of the variety of way of people are able to express themselves. Pala here, by the way, here in Texas, pala is a colloquialism for shovel.
Ah, okay.
Okay, but in Paraguay, pala is what you call a hooker.
Oh, yeah, no. We don't
See,
want to do that.
so it all depends on who you talk to, and
Yeah.
that's the unfortunate part, and so it's really interesting to me, and well, I always say this, when being a native here in Texas, you're a Mexican. Doesn't matter what you are. You're a my name is Michuan Piachelo. No, no, you're Mexican. You know, if I'm if I'm in Florida, I'm Cuban, and in New York, I'm Puerto Rican. So where do I win here? It's just, it's one of those things. Where you're like, just
Well,
almost
it's okay. You can wear many coats. You can wear many coats and fit in anywhere.
yeah, I could just go ahead and blend. That's good. Until they start talking. I, was- when I first started learning Spanish, I thought, well, it would be a good idea to practice by watching the Spanish channel. And no, that's not a good idea. If you want to learn Spanish, don't watch the Spanish channel. Because like if you're a kid, you want to learn English, watch Sesame Street. You watch anything in Spanish TV, and you come away with two things: they don't breathe when they talk,
Oh
and the
no.
second thing you learn is Latinas are hot, and it's not because of the weather.
Well,
Oh, holy no!
well, I can tell you're a full-blooded man there.
No, it's
To
true.
say
I'm sorry.
that those, the Mexican women on Telemundo and Univision are hot. Yes, they are very beautiful women.
Well, not only that, no, I think they have like an internal thing too, because like most of the stuff that I've seen, the guy's wearing like a shirt with a tie and a jacket, and she's walking around in a two-piece bikini, and then he's wearing like a fur-lined coat, and she's wearing a toboggan and a two-piece bikini. He's going skiing.
Hey,
He's got on his ski and
ratings,
everything. Yeah,
ratings. They're after ratings. That's why people who don't even understand Spanish watch the Spanish telenovelas.
I know. I watched one the other day. They had it set in like some snow country, and I was like, "Wait a minute, that doesn't jive. Are you serious? No. I mean, there's not even like a Mexican pilot. If he got lost, see, there's lots of places where a pilot has gotten lost and he ends up in Mexico or in the ocean or stuff. But if a Mexican pilot got lost, like in Alaska, can you imagine
Yeah.
him coming back to the cabin and he's like, excuse me, does anybody know what the white crap on the ground is? There's like a whole bunch of white crap everywhere. It's
Oh
like
my
it's
gosh.
snow. You know. And so- I'm sorry. That's a
It's
terrible
okay.
Mexican accent.
I get it. I get it. I get it. But I just love that whole little bit on two things. The women are hot, and I don't know. I got lost on everything else, but
They can't breathe.
that caught my attention. I gotta say, yes, I agree they're very attractive, but as a woman myself, being attracted to men, I would be like, I don't know about that. Yes, they're pretty, but
Yeah, their wardrobe decisions are not the best. It's just
no, 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 no. Well, like I told you, ratings. It's all about
yeah,
ratings.
no, it's true. And I was making fun of that. Please don't take that as oh, oh my gosh, that Indio guy. All he does is watch
Yeah.
telenovela. He doesn't even turn on the sound. He just turns it down and watches the no.
Well, hey, we got to be lighthearted and have a little bit of fun too. No.
Yes, there's levity that's always required in everything that we do. It's it takes 18 muscles to frown and only six to smile. So
And isn't a smile a much more beautiful thing to see?
right,
So I've
and
heard that
and
before.
it's a truer statement. It's always better to have laughing wrinkles than frowning wrinkles.
Oh yeah, yeah.
One is attractive, the other one makes the neighborhood kids want to ring your doorbell as a dare. Dare you to go over there and ring the doorbell.
All right.
And then the stories come out, he's a serial killer that never got caught. always bringing his trash at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Cleaning the door at night. That's why he's always early. Instead of I'm just getting up because I want to get the paper. And
Yeah. I know. Yeah, you don't want people to run away from you.
kids are
I,
wonderful.
I'm very much in favor of being open and,
Mhm.
being smiling and having people say, "Hey, I really like your smile," or "That's a happy person." Then you're such a bah humbug sort of person.
Oh, look, it's Scrooge's sister. How are you
Yeah,
doing?
we,
That's,
we don't want that.
I'll share a little story with you. I'm really into one of my favorite holidays is Halloween, and I'm really into prosthetics and makeup, and I've done. I was going to see if I still had my mask here. I make a lot of stuff that's really really intense, and I made a demon mask that was form fitted to my face. So it
Wow.
was an applique. So, I put it on and then I could see and, I could move my mouth and it would move with my face and everything else. Big nose, chin, horns, the whole 9 yards, all painted red. Even I smoked at the time and I could smoke and blow smoke out of my nostril and my nose was huge. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
beautiful. Oh my gosh. It took forever to put on, like 3 hours of makeup,
Oh, I bet.
applying it by myself. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Halloween night, and I'm DJing that night. So, I'm gonna show up in this garb and everything else, and there's a ring at the door, and they're trick or treaters. And so I go to, I wasn't thinking because it's glued on my face, and I don't feel it while I'm moving my face. So I open the door, and it's these two little kids, and a little boy and a little girl, and the little girl looks at me and screams like this blood curdling death scream. And she takes off running. And then I was stunned. I was like, I didn't know what to do. And the little boy, he screams and he takes off running after. And then he stops at the end of my sidewalk, turns around and runs 2 or 3 steps toward me. And then he's like, "You scared my sister, you asshole."
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I'm sorry. And the mom brings them back, and I close the door, and I'm tearing the makeup off. It's a mask. And I have like all of this is painted except for where the stuff was at. It's
Oh
a
my
makeup
God.
story. I was
No,
handing candy through a closed door with my back off.
oh, I wish you would have recorded that. That would have been such a great, funniest home video
It
piece
was
there.
hilarious. It was
Well,
it was so, it was so well done. People would get scared of me. Like at the
wow.
club, I
Yeah.
was waiting for my beer. I was like leaning against the bar,
Yeah.
and this guy, he was very well inebriated. He walks over and he's like, "Hey, um, just got a question for you. Uh, you're not the real thing, are you?" And okay, the guy, he just so happened to have a work shirt that said Steve.
Uh-huh.
So I took it as it's his shirt. So I said, "No, Steve." Nah, bro, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. Walked away.
You had fun with well, you had fun with it. I'll tell you what. I'm a chicken. I'm scared, and I like all the cute, fairy and princess stuff of Halloween. And so for our Halloween, Lorenzo kept taking out his masks and hovering in corners, and I'm like, ah, ah, screaming every little while. I'm like, would you cut your shit out, please? Excuse me. I'm like, I am not liking this.
Right. You remember that whole romance thing? This ain't it.
Yeah,
This is
no,
not
we're not, not working, not
it.
working.
No, no, nope, nope.
Uh,
You're not even
yeah,
getting coffee because of that. Just
yeah. Well, he wanted to dress up something scary. I'm like, no. So we did finally when we went out, I did cowgirl, a really cute cowgirl, and he was rodeo clown. So he made it not scary. It was. He said, "I'm a payaso."
I did that devil thing for like 2 or 3 years because it was so well done and it fit my
Wow.
face perfectly.
Dang.
And
My
I
brother would have
was
loved you.
yeah, I was never in a contest. I just did it just because I loved it. It fit
Yeah.
so well, and I
Uh-huh.
had the cat's eye contacts on as
Yeah.
well.
Well, you're
And
gonna
so
have to send me a picture or
yeah,
post one for all your fans. So
I will have to. I will have to.
yeah.
I scared my mom, and all on purpose. It was not a mistake. I did it on purpose.
Oh.
She dared me basically.
Uh-huh.
She was like, "Don't come over and scare me," kind of thing, and I was like, "You don't say that to Lawrence, you know. That's a dare. Hello, you know. That's just like no means no. What the hell?" So I
Yeah.
went over to the house and she was washing dishes. Perfect. She's washing dishes.
Oh,
So
you're
I
naughty.
yes, I did. I stood outside the kitchen window
Uh-huh.
and I was like, she can't see me. So I would inch closer and then inch closer and then inch closer. And then I see her. She's just, she's washing and she's putting them up and drying them. And then I see her eyes go. She puts the plate down. She turns around. And then she comes back and then she leans into the window and I'm like, all right. She's like, she starts screaming. I'm like, oh my God, she's gonna have a heart attack.
Oh my
So
God.
I
For
come
your
running in.
mama.
She's like, get out of here. She was hitting me with the broom. I hate you. I was like, she was like, you scared me. She didn't know what to do when she saw me. She was like, am I really seeing what I'm seeing? So it was fun. I don't do that anymore because
Yeah, no.
she's not with me anymore.
She's your mother
She's
passed.
no,
Is that,
she lives with my sister.
you're awful. But I love it. So, well, so we were going to talk about Yo no sé bailar.
All right. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Julie. I apologize. I was just sorry that was a long way for a joke. Yo no sé bailar,
Yeah.
written by your father. And
Yeah.
aside from the Halloween jokes that were
I
terrible,
love it. I love it. It's all good conversation. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so
I
much.
will say this. Let me, in my defense, I will say this. The more people know you, the better you, the more apt that they're going to enjoy your music because then you're not non-approachable, the more
Right.
approachable you seem. And so I try to give a little levity to what it is that we do as far as we talk. But I do want people to get to know you so that way they can understand where your song is coming from, where your music coming from, and it makes it much more an appreciative kind of thing.
Well,
So
I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. And I think that's a very wise way to approach the interviews and the interviewee.
so Yo no sé bailar, written by your father, and
Yes.
why don't you know how to dance?
So this is a fun song, and basically, my dad is not a dancer. He doesn't like to dance much, and so he was just thinking of like people, and this is in my experience. I don't know about yours, but I find that this is pretty much familiar for a whole lot of people that. They don't like to dance, especially men. You'll see women out on the floor no matter what, whether
Right,
they know how or not, they're going to enjoy themselves. And
guys, yeah.
so, yeah, men are like, I need a couple of drinks before I get out on the floor.
Forget her, man.
You know,
She broke up with me. I don't care. Come on, Julio. Just me and you, bro. Let's just go out
yeah,
and dance. Just you and me. We'll just dance with some
exactly.
and
So, so basically, the song is basically saying, you, whoever I'm going to say the guy and the girl were saying, okay, we're going to go out dancing, but I don't know how to dance and I don't know what to do. And, basically it's saying I'm going to, that the leader's going to teach them polkas y cumbias y rancheras and whatever else. And it says, the guy says, okay, but, or whoever, the other person says, but I need to drink a little bit first. And then finally, after drinking a little bit, they says, well, I'm noticing that nobody really cares how I'm dancing and they're just having a good time, so who cares? Let's just get out there and dance. It doesn't really matter anyway, and just have a good time. So this is a fun little cumbia about Yo no sé bailar. And again, this is another one that was pretty raw, and Sevi was just able to turn it into a really cool little beat. And so, yeah, my dad wrote it kind of just going to dances and observing how people are shy, and this is the same thing when we talk about, I mean, just enjoy life. You don't need to be a stick in the mud. Just get out there and have a good time. And you know I love dancing. I've always loved to dance. I'm very fortunate that Lorenzo loves to dance as well. And as a teacher and as a grandmother of four boys, I would always tell the boys, a man who knows how to dance will never be alone because women love to dance. And if you learn how to do those spins and you learn how to, just kind of be a good dance leader, the women are going to just love it. And so my grandsons haven't quite gotten that from, picked up on that piece of advice from me. So the oldest one's 13 and 11 and 8 and a baby. So I'm going to work on them. I have to get my daughters to teach them how to dance.
It'll happen. It'll happen. It's called puberty.
Yes. As a matter of fact, you're absolutely right because the 13-year-old and 11-year-old, oh, they have girlfriends now, and now you're right. They're
Well,
wanting to learn a little bit more.
yeah, so there it is. Big shout out to my main man, Orlando Cardenas, one big supporter of Tejano music. DJ
All right.
69, thank you very much for joining us here on the show, on the radio, Cubo Radio Indio, Brenda Ortega. This is her song written by her father. It's called Yo No Sé Bailar. Cumbia time.
Una noche fuimos a bailar, los bailes modernos me ibas a enseñar, pero de un montón que no pude aprender, con los pies izquierdos, pues que iba a hacer, unos pasos dimos, todos al revés, one, two, three me dices, vamos otra vez, unos pasos dimos, todos al revés, one, two, three me dices, vamos otra vez, pasamos la noche bailando tú y yo, después de unos tragos y a medio valor, bailamos el two-step y cumbias también, polcas y rancheras, creo que unas 100, unos pasos dimos, todos al revés, one, two, three me dices, vamos otra vez, unos pasos dimos, todos al revés, one, two, three me dices, vamos otra vez. Aunque yo no puedo bailar a compás, miro alrededor y veo a los demás. Algunos no saben, pero dame sí. Ellos se divierten sin fijarse en mí. Unos pasos dimos, todos al revés. One, two, three me dices, vamos otra vez. Unos pasos dimos, todos al revés. One, two, three me dices, vamos otra vez. Ya me importa poco que no sé bailar. No me fijo en nadie, yo voy a gozar. Todo lo que toca, eso aprendí. Solo tener gusto y bailar así. Unos pasos dimos, todos al revés. One, two, three me dices, vamos otra vez. Unos pasos dimos, todos al revés. One, two, three me dices, vamos otra vez. Unos pasos dimos, todos al revés. One, two, three me dices, vamos otra vez. Unos pasos dimos, todos al revés. One, two, three me dices, vamos otra vez. Unos pasos dimos, todos al revés. One, two, three me dices, vamos otra vez. Unos pasos dimos, todos al revés. One, two, three me dices, vamos otra vez. Unos pasos dimos, todos al revés. One, two, three me dices, vamos otra vez. Unos pasos dimos, todos al revés. One, two, three me dices, vamos otra vez.
Thank you.
Yo no sé bailar, Brenda Ortega, DJ Indio on the radio here, entertaining you. Hopefully, y'all guys are joining us. Big shout out to Orlando Cardenas, my main man Chapo, and not to forget Julia Gasca. Thank you so very much, Julia, and Mr. Espinosa from California. We really appreciate all of you guys that are chiming in. If you got a question, comment, or anything else, help yourself to go ahead and put the comments. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Mixcloud, along with QVORadio.fm. So, Brenda,
Yes,
yo no puedo
sir.
bailar. I got a song for, or I got a story for you about dancing. I have been to Mexico 4 times. Twice I was drunk, so I don't think two of them count. However, just it is what it is. So I was
True
there.
confessions. True confessions.
True, sweetheart. Yeah, I can't hide it. I've told this story too much. I can't hide it. But I was there and with a friend. It was my one of my first times going. I was like 16 years old, and his sister was getting married there in Mexico, and it was a big brouhaha. It was big everything, and so he's like, "Come on down," and I was like, oh, "Of course." And it was the first time I've ever known that Latinas are very attractive, and so we're at the dance, and I do not know how to speak the language except for el lenguaje of love. So, but I couldn't. And I saw this girl, and she smiled at me, and I smiled at her, and then I'm like, dude, I got to say hello to her. Help me out, bro. I gotta go up and introduce myself. Help me. Give me something to say in Spanish to her. And we were drinking at the time, by the way, because in Mexico at that time we could drink like we were 16. We were drinking. I don't know if there's law. Don't care. I broke it if there is. However, I was drunk, and he's like, "I got you, bro. I got you. You got to tell her this." So I practiced it, and I was like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yep, that's it. In the bag, in the bag." And I was like, "Okay." So I'm a little leery, but I'm trusting him because he speaks the lingo and I don't. So I walk over to her, and I have I've always had long hair, native, of course. So I put my hair aside because I was drunk and I wanted to put my best foot forward. And I looked at her and I said, "Hola, yo como mocos." Yeah, she did the same thing. She laughed. The good part was that she spoke English, and she's like, "I don't think that's what you were trying to say." I was like, "Oh crap, what did I say?" She said, "You eat boogers."
That's funny. Yeah, leave it to friends to do that to you.
Yes, that was his homework. He's still friends today, but no como moco. So anyway, that's what happened. So luckily she danced, and I
That was going to be my question. Did you dance?
well, she did. I said she danced. I was standing next to her. So,
Oh my goodness.
oh, giving it all out. Okay, so this is my extent of my dancing. It was like one step forward, one step back, one step forward, one step back, step to the left, step to the right, one step forward, one step back. That's it. That was all of it. And so
Yeah.
I was just like, you know, and for all the Mexicans who say that they are just Mexicans and not natives, we dance in a circle too.
Yes, we do.
Yes,
Oh my
natives
goodness.
natives started that. So just so you know.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. There you go. There you go. I thank you for sharing this story. I think it's a great story, and I just, like I said, it doesn't matter. You just feel the music, go with it, and have a good time. Life is too short,
Yeah,
We
and,
need
and,
to.
and once again, it goes back to the fact that music has such a huge impact on ourselves, on our persona. That's the power that you wield with music. That people remember songs, and I don't remember the name of that song or the name of the song for that matter because I didn't understand it. If you ask me today what was that song, I can tell you it was like and that's about it. So even though I can speak Spanish today, it wasn't. Mm-mm. It didn't.
Not back
It,
then.
did,
Yeah.
it didn't register back then. But it's wonderful. It's wonderful that you have that. And so let's talk about amantes y amigos. Now,
Okay.
friends and lovers. You
Yes.
know, is it the peaches and herbs, or is it another version, another song? Is it because there was the friends and lovers that was back in the 70s. I was a big fan. Yes, I'm that old. But tell us a little bit about the song Amantes y Amigos.
Well, this is I love this story because it I did a recording with my friend Benny Lucero. Benny Lucero is originally from Las Vegas, New Mexico, and he's been living in San Antonio for many, many years, 20, 30, however many years. And he actually has a band called Benny and the Jets. And so, anyway, Benny and I recorded another song called Me Gusta Estar Contigo at the behest of Benny. We talked to each other, and he said, let's, do you want to do this? And we did it. And the reason I'm telling you that is because that particular song he's led to another song, which is Amantes y Amigos. And he says, do you want to do a duet? And I said, yeah, sure. He says, well, I'll ask my friend Beto Ramon, who I'm sure a lot of people know about in Tejano music as well.
Famous, wonderful songwriter. He's written hit songs for every band imaginable. If you are
Exactly.
you know a lot of his music without knowing that he's a writer.
Exactly. And he is, I heard the song and I just thought, wow, man, that's such a great song. And so Benny said that he had called or he talked to Beto and said, can you write a song for me and my friend? We're going to do a duet. And Beto says, do you want it to be a love song? Do you want it to be a love song, a hate song, a breakup song? Like what sort of song? And he says, make it a love song. And Benny had asked me, what do you prefer? And I'm a lover, not a fighter. I tell everybody. And so I liked the song Amantes y Amigos. And so basically it's his and her part. So when you hear the song, you'll hear Benny's voice first. And he's got a great voice, by the way. And he also has worked with Sevi. And so he's the one that hooked me up with Sevi, as a matter of fact. And so basically the song starts with, he is singing and she says she has no idea that her eyes light up my soul, that I am dying just to be next to her, and that if she would just, all she needs to do is say the word and I'll be at her feet. And then she says, he has no idea what I feel for him, and that, I look at him from across the room with a smile, and just to call some attention to each other, and that in secret, I just really, really want to be with this man. I'm longing for him. And so then they sing together, this is so beautiful. It's so beautiful to be lovers and friends. When I'm with you, that, I'm lost in your kisses and your touch. And it's so beautiful to feel you and be with you, to sentir tu calor y tu cariño. And this was just written in our destiny. We were destined to be together. And I want to wake up to you every day. And so that's the gist of the song. Beto Ramon, amazing person. And I was super flattered. I've never met him personally, but I was super flattered because Benny said that when he showed Beto the recording, or had him listen to it rather, that Beto was like, wow, it came out really good. And so he gave us a thumbs up, which is always a huge deal from the person who wrote it, because you want the people who sing your songs to emote it appropriately, and to just give it service, give it
service, capture the sentiment.
Yeah, so that's the song Amantes y Amigos with Benny Lucero, again from San Antonio, who has a band called Benny and the Jets.
Benny and the Jets.
That.
Amantes y Amigos, Brenda Ortega, Indio on the radio. Let's take a listen to that, and we'll close up right after this.
Thank you.
Que sus ojos le dan vida a mi alma, que me estoy muriendo por estar con ella otra vez, que con solo decirlo y me tiene a sus pies.
No se da cuenta lo que yo siento cuando estoy con él. De lejos le sonrío para llamar su atención y en secreto yo estoy deseando su amor.
Es tan bonito el poder ser amantes y amigos, y cada vez que yo estoy contigo me pierdo en tus besos y en tu piel. Es tan bonito sentir yo tu calor y tu cariño. Tu amor ya estaba escrito en mi destino. Contigo quiero siempre amanecer. Ella no sabe que sus ojos le dan vida a mi alma, que me estoy muriendo por estar con ella otra vez, que con solo decirlo y me tiene a sus pies.
No se da cuenta lo que yo siento cuando estoy con él. De lejos le sonrío para llamar su atención y en secreto yo estoy deseando su amor.
Es tan bonito el poder ser amantes y amigos, y cada vez que yo estoy contigo me pierdo en tus besos y en tu piel. Es tan bonito sentir yo tu calor y tu cariño. Tu amor ya estaba escrito en mi destino. Contigo quiero siempre amanecer. Ya estaba escrito en el destino. Ya estaba escrito en el destino. Ser amantes y amigos.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. Me likes it very much.
Yeah.
That's a dance.
Thank you. Thank you.
Song really close cheek to cheek. You know.
Oh, yeah. That's a really great love song.
Thank you so very much, Julia. Yeah, I was right there with you, sweetheart. I love it. It's really, really great. She sits there and she says, "I love it," and that's
Oh,
right.
thank
Yeah,
you.
so-
I appreciate it. To all of you who are listening and the comments about loving it and the support and everything else, I'm just so, I really appreciate that. That means that what we do is touching you in the most positive way. Thank you.
the power that you yield really quickly. A good friend of the show, Daniel Garcia, who's got his own Facebook group where he plays a lot of music. He posts a lot of the music. He says everybody can message. Check out my his group. It's and he does a lot of posting there. Big D in the house. Thank you very much, D, for joining us. And that's a great thing that you do for sharing people's music, putting it out there so that way people can fall in love with it, giving them the opportunity,
Mhm.
just like we try to do here. Julia, once again, she says it's very lovely, which is a
Thank you.
great
Thank you.
compliment. It's really, really good. And
I
and
appreciate that.
and Daniel is very. It's very, very true that Daniel says I support every artist out there, and he does. I can vouch for him. It's great, great, great channel. You got to check him out. Big D.
I'll make
Thank
sure I write
you.
his name down.
Yeah, Daniel Garcia. Daniel, thank you so very much once again for the
Thank you,
kind words
Daniel.
of joining us. But yeah, that's a wonderful, wonderful song. Thank you so very much for joining us. I really do appreciate you, Brenda, for being here and sharing your story and allowing us to fall in love with your music. Giving us an opportunity to fall in love with your music is wonderful. This is coming to the end of the show, and I always give the artist the uh, uh, the opportunity to go ahead and say what they, uh, 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 you know, give their thank yous and everything else, and and whatever it is that you want to share. This is completely up to you. Whatever it is that you want to do, your thank yous. Also, don't forget to mention your merch, where they can buy your merch, where they can buy everything else to support you. Here is Brenda Ortega.
Hola, muchas gracias a todos ustedes. I appreciate you, and I am from Las Vegas, New Mexico, and I do want to say thank you to all of you for listening and tuning in. And you can find me on YouTube, on Amazon, on iTunes, and all of these streaming engines. And if you want any of my stuff, you can find me on Facebook. You can find my page, and you can message me for the music, for t-shirts, CDs. If you just want to download it, again, you can get onto CD Baby or iTunes or Amazon, or like I said, any of the other streaming engines. I am for hire, so you can take me, you can call me, and I could come over and sing for a party, sing for a dance, or do a performance if you have a fiesta going on, or anything else. I can be there. And I am from Las Vegas, New Mexico, so it would take a little bit, but and I do have, because of Benny, I would be able to have a full band with me too if that was necessary, or sing with music tracks, whatever it takes. I would get myself there. And I just again, I want to thank all of you for tuning in and listening. None of this goes on without the entire cycle, like the fans, people who listen to and promote the music, DJs like DJ Indio, and radio stations and producers, musicians. Everyone has a part in it, and of course, family. The family who support those of us who are singing and performing, because sometimes they've got to wait, or they got to help move stuff around, whatever it is. But the support is there, and that's very, very meaningful. Otherwise, we can't get out there and do the things that we love doing. So I appreciate you all. Again, you can find me on Facebook. My phone number is 505-426-5626, 505-426-5626. And you can also call. You can also email me at ebrendao@hotmail.com, or emily.brenda65@gmail.com. And you can get my merchandise by, I'm going to actually post make a post in the next few days or so, hopefully by the end of the week, with my t-shirts and my CDs, so that you can buy the merchandise from me on Facebook. But you can also call me, and I have CDs, I have posters, I have t-shirts. And again, message me on Facebook or send me a message, and I'll get that to you. You can also call Lorenzo Jaramillo at 505-263-5905, 505-263-5905. Or you can call my dad, Juan Ortega, at 505-425-9155. Again, you can find me on Facebook. That's probably the best and easiest way. On Facebook, through Messenger, or you can call me or text me, 505-426-5626, or email me, emily.brenda@gmail.com, or ebrendao@hotmail.com. And again, I'd like to thank Lawrence, DJ Indio, and also his wife Gracie, and Severo Contreras, Benny Lucero. These are the people who brought me here to San Antonio, and I've enjoyed myself a whole lot. And God bless you guys. You take good care of yourselves. I hope you have a very, very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and may God grant you many, many, many blessings in 2023. Thank you so much.
Well, there you have it. That was amazing. Thank you so very much for the accolades. I don't deserve it because I'm just a little
Oh,
guy from Vancourt, Texas. That's all
you're
I
so
am.
humble, and thank you so much for that.
I'm just a guy, just a guy. I want to send a big shout out to Esteban, to Daniel. Thank you so very much to Orlando for joining us, especially Julia. You've been very active today, Julia. Thank you so very much. I appreciate all of you.
Thank you,
Those
Julia.
people thank you for those people that were listening that didn't chime in, but they wanted to enjoy the show. Thank you so very much. And if you are having a bad day, if you if it's not working out for you today, just remember every day planes take off against the wind. You matter. You matter. The world is a better place with you in it. So keep that chin up. Keep reaching for the stars. This is Indio, Brenda Ortega. We're going to leave you with Mi Amor. Thank you so very much for joining us. We'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Bye bye.
God bless you.